Hello everyone, I'm FARMERSIM. Welcome back to the Vintage Oaks. I do hope you're all doing very, very well and having a lovely day. So here we are, we've got ourselves out of August and we are now in September, the first of our 2-day in-game months. So, plenty to crack on with, and at the beginning of this episode I want to show you a couple of things that I've made a couple of changes to. As always, it's kind of been a constant thing in my mind these last few days since beginning this series because of the whole period correct thing and trying to get hold of machinery and whatnot. There was a couple of items that weren't sitting right in my mind. Obviously I did explain the straw blower that we had here. That was a base game one because this one here was suggested to me by Finnish Farmer. I tried it, I couldn't get it to work, but thankfully again, a massive thank you again to you, Finnish Farmer, who told me how to use it. Or, you know, I mean, not how to use it, but essentially the base game straw blower worked fine from here. You could load it up with a bale of straw and blow it into the cow barn and it would work fine, but this doesn't seem to do that. But Finnish told me that you need to do it from inside, and sure enough, you load it up with a bale, you drive your tractor and your blower inside, and it works just fine. So I have now got this lovely period correct, or it's an old thing anyway, Agromet H152 straw blower. So it's really quite apt. It suits the place down to a T, quite frankly. So I'm really quite chuffed that we've, thanks to the great help of this wonderful community, and in particular in this instance, Finnish Farmer. Thank you, mate. It works fine. So we do need to top up the cows with a little bit of straw. They've currently got, if I bring up the heads-up display there, they've currently got 9,000 litres out of their total of 16, so we're going to load up one of our Heston bales out of our thoroughly stuffed shed there in a minute. They've started producing manure. We've got 9,650 litres in here, so we're going to load that up with the tractor and just get it manually tipped over there into our manure bunker for storage for now. So that's all good. I have made a couple of extra changes. Well, I've added a couple more bits of equipment. Now, it was put to me in the comments of the last couple of episodes regarding doubling up on a couple of things. So that's exactly what I've done. And I honestly don't know why it didn't occur to me to do that in the first place. Obviously, wanting a period correct seeder, I really quite like the look of this, but it's quite narrow. I think it's I'd better just check in the garage, hadn't I? Where are we? It's a 4 metre working width, so obviously with the size of our fields that would have taken quite a while, wouldn't it? But of course, just get 2 of them. So got an 8 metre working width essentially now, so we can drill twice as quickly. They don't take a huge amount of power, so that's work that the maybe the duo of 7810s can manage. I think they only require a really low horsepower, to be fair. I think, let's remind myself again, 80 horsepower. So yeah, job's are good. We'll sort that one out. What else did I change out? The cultivator. Now, I had that 20-foot Ford branded cultivator, the tow behind one, but it wasn't sitting right with me because I know that is primarily that's more of an American style piece of equipment. So I've got rid of it and I have purchased these 2 relatively cheap lizard harrows. Now, ordinarily, I for no real reason, just apart from wanting to keep to realistic brands, I've never really used that much lizard equipment. Obviously, we all know what lizard is, don't we? It's the in-game brand. To if someone's making a piece of equipment that doesn't have a brand to it, it gets put as lizard. Or is it if it's a brand that Giants doesn't have the license to use for the consoles especially, it gets branded as lizard. But anyway, but they're wicked little things. They're really good. They've got a working width, each of them, of 5 meters, so we can cultivate with a working width of 10 meters, obviously using 2 bits of equipment. But I just love the old rudimentary agricultural basic structure of them. Obviously, it's just a load of bits of metal welded together with a few tires on, just to weigh them down. Essentially, they do fold up. I've put them on the ground now unfolded just to show you them. But yeah, they're really handy. They're really simple, and yeah, don't require a huge amount of power. What do these ones take? These take 31 horsepower each, so you know we can manage them. And I've also picked myself up another one of these case plows. Obviously, after the ploughing job that took me 4 hours last week in the other episode, I kind of figured again, considering they're relatively cheap, I'll double up on one of them as well. These do take a decent amount of power, though. These require 170 horsepower. So, primarily, these are going to be being used by the Fendt and the JCB for now. Whether it's right of me to use the JCB with a plough, it is what it is at the end of the day. It's the only other tractor I've got with enough power to do it. So, until I until I come into a load of money, maybe in the near future, and maybe splash out on some, again, period correct tractors, we shall see. But yeah, all that to come, I suppose. So anyway, we're in September. We've got plenty of work to do. Looking at the weather that's approaching, we do have some rain approaching in the next few hours, I think. Again, popping into our weather menu. Where are we? There we go. It has given rain from midday right the way through till 4 o'clock. So we do have a massive field to harvest, field 62, I think, of barley. That's our big field down there. So 6:30 in the morning gives us several hours to make a good dent in there, and hopefully we might be able to get it done within the time frame before the rain comes. So I think that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to first of all get that job done. Now obviously fieldwork wise we've got plenty more. If I go into the field over here that we harvested in episode 1, the wheat field that we got stashed over into our silo, it's now rammed with weeds, but it does need fully ploughing, so we're going to do that. We are going to, and we're going to double up on that. We'll get both of the ploughs in this field and get it done twice as quick. The plough has a working width of about, I think it's 5.2 meters, so just over a 10-meter working width. I think it should suffice for this field. I think it's honestly been quite a challenge, but an enjoyable challenge at that. Trying to find older equipment to suit the UK surroundings here on this map. It's really been quite an enjoyable thing, and it's been wonderful getting so many comments and suggestions from all you wonderful viewers and players of the game suggesting things. It's a great help, and it's just wonderful having even just that little bit of involvement from someone just saying, "Oh, have you thought about this?" And, you know, maybe send a link over, and I'll look at it and go, "Well, that's perfect." And it's just brilliant having that interaction. I absolutely love it. So, I think first of all, what I'm going to do is we are going to... Let me open the gate first. I'm going to muck out the cows. It shouldn't take too many buckets, I think. I can't actually remember what the capacity of this front bucket is on this little Ford of ours. I think it's a couple of thousand litres. We'll find out in a minute when I get my first scoop. So, let's go do exactly that. In fact, we'll stick some lights on as well while we're at it, shall we? Let's jump out of... cab mode. There we go. It's definitely not going to... Is it going to take all of it? What's the literage on this? I'm going to have to remind myself now. It might... I think it is a modded one. Where are we? 20,000 litres. Right, there you go. Okay. So it's got a... It does have a slightly unrealistic capacity. But I'm fine with that. It does help get the job done a little bit quicker, I suppose. And I've got the unit convert mod running as well. So what have we got there? 21.8 cubic yards, 12.9 tons of manure we've got in this little bucket on the front of this small tractor. Ah well, I don't mind that kind of thing, if I'm honest. I know it's unrealistic, but just for the purposes of scooping up a bit of manure, I'm more than fine with, to be honest. So let's tip all that out there. Lovely stuff. Yeah, all that's come out of that one teeny tiny bucket. Yeah. Realism is key, everyone. Realism is key. Anyway, right, let's swap out the bucket for the bale fork. And then we can put the straw blower to the test as well. Oh, didn't need anything from manual attach on that one. So we are only going to need, for now, we're only going to need one of our bales. I think the capacities of our Heston bales are 8,350 or 8,450, I think. And I think we've got about 7,000 or 8,000 litres of capacity left in the straw part of the cows. So we just need one. Thank you very much. There we go. In fact, what was the capacity? 8,450. There we go. Right, okay. That'll do. In fact, no, actually, I was going to grab the bale from the side then, but what I'm going to do is grab it from the front, from the end, because that's the way I'm going to need to feed it into the straw blower. I think it was very sensible of me to fit this weight to the front, to the rear of the tractor to keep its back end down, eh? because I think we'd be driving along on our front wheels at the minute without that. So let's get that in there like that. Let's just shove it in. No, no. Really? That's not going to work, is it? Let's try again. It worked fine before. I do hope that the shape and size of these isn't going to cause a problem. I've been really happy that I've got this straw blower working here. Oh, there we go. That's better. As always... Oh, good. No, 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 no. It was the fleshy lump between the monitor and the keyboard that was the problem, wasn't it? Stop it! It's sticking to my... Come on. Stay where you are. Thank you. There we go. Well, that's going to be a bit of a faff, isn't it? Having to do that every time with the Heston... Oh, good. Don't you dare fall out now. Kind of teetering. I had tested this, to be fair. I'd tested this straw blower using a base game large square bale and just naively assumed that everything would work fine with a Heston bale. Let's try and weave my way in and out. There we go, you see? Straw. Excellent stuff. There we are. Have we got any lights in here? Probably not. That's all good. Right. So we'll leave that for a few minutes. That's the cows dealt with for a few minutes anyway. Topped them up with straw, emptied out the manure. Job's a good one. They've still got some food, that'll do. They have started producing a good chunk of slurry, so that's excellent as well. Anyway, right, their health is at 100%, that's all that matters. Yeah, I'm dead chuffed with that. Brilliant. Right, anyway, enough of my waffle. Let's tidy this thing up for now. Get it out of the way. Stick it back in the barn. It's your day's work done, eh? Little Ford. That'll do just fine. So, let's turn the lights off as well. You deadened the battery. Right. Let's gather all the equipment together for the harvest. We shall dig out the 3 grain trailers, the case and the 2 Fords. I'm going to need the Ford, aren't I? So I'm going to have to wait for this thing to finish. Which it looks like it has done. The straw is now full. Okay, that'll do. Yeah. Haven't thought of that. Gonna need the Ford. Come on, Mrs. Cow. Oh, that'll do. Oh, goodness me. Oh, you can stay there for now. Maybe the bale just needed shoving in a bit further to the back of the straw blower, perhaps. Right. I'll get this disconnected, connected up to its grain cart, grain trailer, and get out into the field and get our second really big harvest going. So I'll see you down at the field in a few moments' time. Now then, all sorted. I have just spent a few minutes fueling up these 3 combine harvesters, so they're all brimming with diesel now. The 3 grain carts will be on their way down in a minute or 2. I've just spent a few minutes. I've just stopped time for quite a while actually, while I've been setting up the auto drive, running a ring around this field, and just getting the auto drive network set up. What I've done is slightly differently to the first harvest that we did in the series back on episode 1. Each combine has its own grain cart now, so essentially, and then there's 3 points around the field where each of those 3 grain carts is going to stop and wait. So yeah, there's, as I say, 1 grain cart to 1 harvester. It might simplify things a bit and reduce the risk of tying myself in tractor-shaped knots. Right, anyway, all done now. We're ready to rock and roll, so let's race this rain. Well, we've raced the rain, and we've beaten the rain. Very happy with that indeed. It's been a good few hours, but looking at the time now, it's just turning 20 to 11, and the rain comes at about 12 o'clock, so that's all good. Very happy with that, and God's honesty, promise, there's been no altering the time or slowing it down or anything like that. These have just cracked on with it. And as you can see, one of them is still cracking on with it. I don't know whether some of you might have been able to tell from some of the clips in that cinematic there, but the green one actually seems to have a bit of a problem. If I just jump into this one quickly and just flick over to it. Oh, typical. I get to it and he wants unloading. Essentially, this header isn't the one that's ideally meant to go with this. I've picked this header because it's 7.7 meters wide, the same as the ones that go with the blue Dominators. But for some reason, this header seems to slightly touch on the floor as it's driving along. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily affect it, but certainly on slight inclines, if it's driving up the hill, it slows it right down to kind of 3 or 4 miles an hour, which is a bit of a pain. It still soldiers on though. It does get the job done, but I know I have got the mod, the adjustable header height control, I think it's called, or something like that. There we go, getting unloaded. Yeah, I do have that mod, so I should maybe activate it and see if there's anything I can tweak just on this one anyway. But anyway, the numbers are massive, as I kind of expected. Obviously, this field is pretty much twice the size of that field, if not slightly more. So the numbers are really, really good. But obviously, until we have everything safely stashed away in the silo, I won't know exactly what we've got. So this thing seems to say it's got how long left on its course play? It's got 20 minutes left. So I'll let this thing on its way, leave it with its grain trailer, and we'll go and pack away the blue ones and the other trailers, ready to get out the rain, I suppose. Now I'm going to obviously see the rain through. That's from 12, it's forecast from 12 till roughly about 4 o'clock, I think. And then what I think I'm going to try and do, to crack on with a little bit more work and get something else done, we have field 26 over there in the distance, over those trees. That is currently a ploughed field. It's one that was ploughed at the beginning of this series. We haven't done any work in that yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give our new cultivators a bit of a run. So the idea is I'm going to jump in both of the 7810s, hook them up, because as I said before, the cultivator requires almost no power, about 30 odd horsepower. So we'll get those two Fords sorted there and get them working in that field. But obviously, like I say, when the rain has been and gone. Now I know you shouldn't really be cultivating or ploughing even after the rain when it's stopped. I do appreciate that, but obviously there are certain things you can allow in a game, can't you? It's I'm assuming I'm going to be starting this job at around maybe 3:45, 4 o'clock time, so it's going to be a good couple of hours worth of work, so I would like to get that done in this in-game day. So there'll be a certain bit of realism, I suppose, that I'm happy to kind of ignore. So anyway, I'll get this lot tidied up, like I say. Looks like I'm playing chicken. Oh, that's better. I was expecting him to be turning around. Yeah, we'll get all this lot back to the farm. Now, obviously, these harvesters are going to be done with now for a wee while, so they could do with a bit of a clean-up. I think I'm not actually too sure. I don't think I've got a jet washer on the farm yet, so I might, while we're waiting for that to finish, I might find somewhere to place down a jet washer. I have got a mod that's a really nice looking jet washer setup. Again, it's a little bit messy. It's a bit it looks a bit old school and a bit rudimentary, so I quite like the idea of it. So but it does have quite a big footprint. It's not just a jet washer, it's kind of like a ramp and a few bits and bobs around it. So I'm going to have a bit of a go at that, see what I can figure out and where it might go. Now, obviously, fortunately, we can drive up here with the headers. The lanes are wide enough, the space is wide enough. I haven't actually got any header trailers at the minute. I didn't think I'd need them, to be honest, with the access being so generous down these lanes and around the farm. Right, so here we are. So I think I'll just leave this one here for now until I find somewhere to put my jet washer, and I'll pick you all back up in a wee while's time when we're all done and dusted. Tell you what, we are cutting it fine now. Just checked out the forecast again, and it's told us that the rain is coming at 11 o'clock, and it's 11:01. We're going to be cutting it really fine here. We've literally got the last tiny little strip. I'd love to be able to say that we genuinely did race the rain and beat the rain, but almost to get it to what could be the minute could be pretty crazy. So if I go just show you there in the weather menu. Oh, it's gone to 12 o'clock now. Could just literally, no word of a lie, 11 o'clock there was rain there. Oh. Oh well, we made it easily. Right. We'll get this lot emptied, sorted, into the silo. I have just placed down the jet washer over at the farm, so the other two harvesters have been cleaned off. The two Fords have been cleaned off with the trailers. We'll get this one done as well. Well, that's it now. Harvest over for the year. The numbers do seem to be pretty damn good as well, so we'll go through those in a minute or two, as I say, when everything's sorted. And there we are, completely finished now. Just taking this over to our little wash area now. Get it cleaned off and put away in the shed for a few months. But yeah, the numbers are brilliant, like I said before. So what we have yielded from that field in tons, 542 tons of barley. That's pretty incredible. It really is. So best selling time for the barley is much like the oats. It's January, in a few months' time into next year. And the best price is, where are we? £504.29 per tonne. Sorry, I'm trying to drive my harvester and look down at a bit of paper that I've scribbled on. So let me just leave that there. This is our new wash area. But yeah, so in total the barley, we are going to get from that barley at best sell time, roughly 273,325 quid. Add that to the 211,863 that we're potentially going to get for the oats in January, brings in a combined income of 485,188 quid, which is absolutely brilliant. So if I can be mindful of the cash that we have at the minute, which I probably won't be able to, but come early next year, we could be knocking on the door of £500,000 quid, couldn't we? Which is absolutely brilliant. So, here's my wash area. You see what I mean about it just looking nice and old and weathered and kind of it just suits the place. It really does, quite frankly. It does have quite a large footprint, which is why I was quite limited to where I could place it, so I've placed it here on the very edge of the field. It kind of works, I think. It's not too bad. Obviously, I'm not going to try and drive the harvester on here with its header attached. But we'll give the harvester a good clean off now. We've got about 45 minutes before the rain's going to come, so I'm not going to try and get the two Fords over into the field with the cultivators yet. I'm going to get these two cleaned off. And then I suppose just hang my hat up for a few hours. And I'll pick you back up when the rain's been and gone. You can crack on with a bit of field cultivation. So, see you in a wee while. Right, rain's cleared up. There we go. 4:10. It's been and gone. It's coming again at about 9 o'clock tonight, so I know we've got more than enough time to get this job done in between now and then. I've sent the other blue 7810 over to field 26 already. And I've just kept this one with me here so I can get myself to the field. So, it's not far away, just down the end of this lane and to the left a bit, so I'll get ourselves there. I'll see you in a few moments. Right, this is us here. This is our other bit of land and our other kind of, at the minute, completely empty and redundant workshop. But this is the land we're going to be cultivating this afternoon. Now, I suppose I've spent this morning racing the rain, and now I think I'm going to be racing the sun, because with it being 4:10, it is September. The days do get slightly shorter from now on. I'm hoping... I mean, it's a big field, let's be honest. We've got a good couple of hours into here, regardless of whether there's two of them or not. But yeah, spend the morning racing the rain, spend the evening racing the sun. Let's see how we do, shall we? Well, I think I lost that race. Well and truly. It is a 90-acre field after all, I suppose. So I don't know what I was thinking. Yes, we've doubled up on the cultivators, but they're only, what, 5 metres wide or so. So, yeah, that was 3 hours, 40-odd minutes, I think. So, but it's done. That's all that matters. We're now knocking on the door of 7:20 at night. I do hope that cinematic came out okay. I think I only managed to get about the first, maybe 30% of the job in there before it just got too dark and the footage was just looking no good. There was nothing going on at all apart from headlights moving around. So, I've done my best. What can I say? So, it's been a productive day, I suppose. Partly, anyway. We've got the biggest field on the map, field 62. That's ours. It's been harvested. It's all in the silo, so that's all good. Waiting for January now for sell time. Quids in and all that. And obviously, we've got this field cultivated, ready for a seeding. I can't really show you much. Obviously, you can see the texture's now a lovely seed bed texture, but if I go into the map PDA very quickly, there we go. All done. Ready to go. We've got field 17, field 22 and field 62. Well, 22 and 62, these both need ploughing and starting again, don't they? Obviously, this one's got full of weeds. This one's still full of straw. That's going to be a massive job. It really is. I'm even considering getting myself a second pickup wagon as well, because the one I've got is particularly cheap. It's about 25, 26 grand. So I'm thinking of getting a second pickup wagon just to get that job done, because we're fine for bales. We've got 250 odd Heston bales over there. So the loose straw, I think we can afford to pick it all up and sell it and get a bit of money in the bank. We've still got our grass fields going on, field 17, field 23 there. So the work doesn't stop. We've got plenty to do. I may even also have to consider turning it to 3-day months instead of 2, just because of the size of the fields and the size of our equipment. Obviously, we've got 2 jobs done today, haven't we? Obviously, I know 3 and a bit hours of that was spent cowering out of the rain, as it were, in the house. Typical lovely English weather. But hey-ho, it's been another great day down here on the Vintage Oaks. So, obviously, I'm going to call it here for today's episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching. I really do hope you have enjoyed it and found it a little bit of fun. As always, if you're new to my channel and you like my content, you like the way I'm doing things, please consider hitting that subscribe button and jumping on board, joining the channel. Please give the video a like if you can. It does do wonders, helps the YouTube algorithm do its thing. And as always, there are a host of links in the video description below with my Giants Partner promo code. If any of you are in the market for purchasing a DLC, an add-on, a season pass, or even the full game itself, or even pre-ordering Farming Simulator 25, and you like the idea of helping a content creator out and supporting their channel, as always, I would be hugely appreciative. So take care, everyone. Thanks again for your time, and I'll see you in the next video.